This story came from our listener Tonya from St. John's, Florida. When I booked the little Airbnb just outside of Gloucester, Massachusetts, I had something cozy in mind. You know the kind. Old creaky floors, a chipped tea kettle on the stove, maybe a bookshelf stacked with forgotten paperbacks and cobwebs in the corners. I wanted solitude, a quiet place to think, to decompress, to reset. The listing described it as a charming historic stay. I took that to mean quaint, old world charm, maybe even peaceful. But from the moment I stepped through the door, something felt off. Nothing I could name, but just the kind of silence that presses in around the edges. No birds singing, no passing cars, no sound of wind, even though the trees outside were swaying. It was like I was stepping into a bubble, a moment frozen in time. And in the bedroom, there it was, the mirror. Tall, heavy, mounted directly across from the bed. The frame looked like it belonged in a museum. Carved wood with curling floral patterns, but tarnished gold leaves flaking off in all different places. It wasn't just old. It looked ancient. The kind of thing that should have come with a story, or at the very least, a warning. But I didn't think anything of it. I unpacked, made tea, read for a while. I slept fine that first night. It was the second night that things began to unravel. I was getting ready for bed, and the lamp on the nightstand was casting a yellowish glow. As I crossed the room to turn it off, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. Just a glimpse. But something stopped me. My reflection wasn't right. It moved, just slightly, out of sync. Like a movie with a half-second audio delay. I lifted my hand to turn off the lamp, and my reflection followed. But just a breath behind. A delay so subtle, it might have been my imagination. But then, she smiled. I hadn't smiled. I stood there frozen. It wasn't a warm smile. It was tight, deliberate, like she knew I was watching her, and like she was watching me. I backed away, terrified. I headed to the living room. I ended up staying on the couch that night. The next morning, I told myself, it had to have just been a trick of the light, or the glass was warped. Still, I avoided it. The third night, I took the towel from the bathroom and I threw it over the mirror. I didn't even want to look at it by accident. Then I grabbed a chair and I wedged it in the front. Problem solved. Or so I thought. That night, I tossed and turned. I couldn't relax. The room just felt different. Heavy. Like it was holding its breath. Then, just after 2 a.m, something hit the floor. And it hit the floor hard. My heart pounding in my chest. I turned on the lamp. The towel was on the floor. The mirror was uncovered. And the chair, that heavy wooden chair I had wedged firmly in place, it had been dragged halfway across the room. I stared at it, not breathing, not moving. Then I looked at the mirror. My reflection was gone. Not twisted, not off. It was gone. Just the room behind me. Empty. I got up. I didn't even put shoes on. I ran out of the front door and sat in my car with the engine running. I stayed there for hours. I watched the sky go from black to gray to that weak pale blue of morning. Eventually, I convinced myself to go back inside. I needed my phone, my wallet. When I walked back into the room, everything was back in place. The towel folded, the chair neatly pushed in under the desk, and the mirror, she was there, looking back at me. But she wasn't me. Not really. Her skin looked drained. Her eyes had sunken in. Dark circles beneath them like bruises. She looked tired, worn down, like something had been watching her, or maybe feeding on her. That was the moment I knew it wasn't just a mirror. It was a window, or worse, a door. I packed everything I owned in 15 minutes. I didn't even brush my teeth. Just shoved everything into my suitcase and zipped it shut. I didn't look up, didn't look in the mirror. I reached for the doorknob. And that's when I heard it. Three slow, deliberate knocks from inside the mirror. I turned slowly. Again, every instinct screaming at me not to. And there she was, smiling. But now, she was also waving. Not frantic, not aggressive, just slow, casual, like an old friend. Like she knew I was leaving. Or maybe she wanted me to stay. I left. I drove through the night, didn't stop until I was hours away. Didn't tell the host. Didn't leave a review. I just wanted to forget. But now, anytime I pass a mirror, a store window, a hallway reflection, a puddle in the street, I catch it. Just for a moment. That same delay. That same feeling that I'm not alone, that I'm not the one in control, like someone is watching me or following, just 1 second behind, waiting to catch up. If you have a story you want told, send it to us at whispersinthedarkaudio@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the subscribe button and also the bell for notifications on new content.